Okay, let's get going. Right, so I suppose this one, I just wanted to talk a little bit. I suppose I had a really good conversation with someone the other day, and it was kind of about just being a bit lost in life. So I think some people experience this, and then I don't know if others do. It's something that resonated with me, and I knew exactly what he was talking about, but I wonder how many other people go through it. So we're going to have a proper conversation. So we're going to do a conversation, try and do a podcast and record it because it was a really good conversation. I'm lucky enough that that's kind of my life. I have interesting conversations all the time with clients. Uh, so basically, it's about getting to a point in life where maybe you've achieved a certain amount of success. You know, you've got an okay paying job, maybe you've got an okay house, okay car, but you suddenly have this realization that you don't actually know who you are. You've kind of just got stuck in a system. It's like a system that we're all kind of brought into, whether it be via school, via our parents, well, all of the above, really, and, the government and the country, blah, blah, blah. You kind of get put into this system, don't you? You know, that's how, when you go to school, it's okay, you're going to get your GCSEs, then you get your A levels, then you go to university, and then you get a job. Or you get your GCSEs, you do an apprenticeship, you get a job. I don't think we even really pushed apprenticeships when we were at school, but they were just kind of, well, I don't feel they did anyway. It was more just like, what you're doing at college. If you're not going to college, you're going to get a shitty job and you're going to have to work your way up. That was my interpretation of it anyway. I just generally, you're not prepared for life in the slightest, are you? But, so, as I said, this person, he's got to this point in his life where he's like, oh my, he's got a decent amount of success. He's even got some little side things going on, but he doesn't know who he is as a person. He's kind of just got lost in it all. And that resonated with me because, well, that's exactly what happened to me. So I was kind of early 20s, mid 20s, and, I've been chasing what I sort of perceived as success. So I was a bit lost, I didn't really, the things I was doing at college, like when I was at college and stuff, I was doing art and things and media studies and philosophy and medieval history. I had all sorts of weird subjects. School, I was just kind of, I think I just did what I think my parents wanted me to do. But really, I was always into sports. My issue was that I was a small, fat kid who was born in August. So I was always smaller and weaker than everyone around me, more or less. And you don't really get given a chance. And I didn't have anyone around me to push me or to take me. I always wanted to do things. I was forever wanting to go to rugby. I was forever wanting to, I did a little bit of judo that we did in school and I really liked it. But sadly, I wasn't in a position where I would be taken to these types of things. So I just fell out of it all. And all I wanted to do was, you can probably tell if you follow me on social media now, is be active and do fun things like that. And I just never got that chance. And then I got to college and I was sort of following this path that I feel like I've maybe been pushed into. And maybe it's just what I thought I had to do. That was my lot. But I found martial arts and I found sort of karate. I was doing Shotokan karate quite a lot, and I was getting into weapons training. And I'd found my confidence. I got skinny and I was looking good. I feel like I was just a skinny rump, but I felt good. I felt help from being that fat kid who was scared to take his shirt off to being like not us. I just didn't have a shirt on. I think for like a full summer, I just pretty much never had a shirt on. Good times, but. But basically, it was like martial arts really helped me with that. But then all of a sudden, I was like, what am I doing here? I don't like this. And then I got pushed into a job I didn't want to do. And again, I was like, because it was an okay job working in the civil service, it paid well, there was career progression. Fucking miserable. It was just basically that whole in a cubicle doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I was like, this ain't for me. I left that and I just kind of got lost. I was lost. I was night portering, then I was doing nights at Tesco, and then I worked my way up into management because, as I said, I was chasing that kind of what I perceive to be success. Okay, because I've always been one of them. If whatever I'm doing, I'll try and do my best at it because I'm a people pleaser. I want to be, I want to do well. I want praise. I know there's some issues there, and I'm working through them all the time. But that's what it is. So I'm pushing myself, and I'm just trying to do better and better and better. And a machine like that will chew you up and spit you out. It will take everything you can give it until you finally break. And I'm pushing myself to be the best manager. So I was like the best line manager. And then I was like, right, I'm going to be deputy. And I'm going to be store manager. And I'm going to get that big wage. And I'm going to get that big car, I'm gonna have that big house. And that was what I was chasing. But I didn't know who the fuck I was. Because even though I'd found martial arts, right, and I'd found my confidence, I was still that scared kid who got beat up all the time. That scared kid who was terrified to say what he actually thought. A scared kid who was afraid to be me. I was afraid that I wouldn't be accepted who I was, that my views were stupid, that people, because, that's what I grew up being, like, pushed down and beaten up. And I don't say that lightly. I got fucking shit kicked out of me many times. I was just this scared, weak, I was prey. That's what I was. I was fucking prey. And it's upsetting thinking about it because I don't have a lot of joy when I think back over my youth at all. It's like there's a piece of me missing. I don't know if it's missing. It's like I described it to a missus the other night. We was having a good talk, working through some stuff. I may have had some herbal support, and I was working through it. And I was just saying, it's like I've had to take a gangrenous limb and cut it off. That's what it feels like. I've had to fucking lop off a big chunk of my life so I could move forward. That's what it felt like. And I think maybe there's some work I can do there to maybe get some of it back, but that's what it feels like right now. That's what I had to do to move forward. And it was hard. But like I said, that's who I was. I was this timid, scared person. I was talking to this lad about it the other day, and we was having a chat, and I said, like, even when I was around people where I kind of felt confident, I was still scared because I wanted to be accepted. Like, if I liked a certain band, I wouldn't say. I'd pretend like I thought they were shit or they were pussy rock or whatever because I wanted to fit in, and then I realised I've been doing that for so long. I didn't know who I was. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, and I just didn't know who that person was. I didn't know who I was anymore. Because I believe, I've got children, I've got 3 children, and they're all unique. And I think we're born with this uniqueness about us, and I think it gets smashed out of us. I think it gets smashed out of us by life. And it's one of the things I'm terrified of doing to my kids. So I'm always trying to encourage them. And it's such a battle thinking about parenting and stuff. But life smashed it out of me. I just didn't know who I was, so I was lost. I was abusing drugs, I was abusing alcohol, and I was abusing the people around me. I just wasn't a good friend. I wasn't a good partner. I just wasn't a good example of a man. I was a manager, and I had some leadership qualities, but I was lacking so many. And I had such toxic traits as well, and I was unkind to people around me. I neglected people. I was just, I weren't a good person. And it's because I wasn't sure of myself. And something snapped, and I just was like, this isn't right. I can't carry on like this. And this realization, like this lad had, I was like, who am I? I remember being stood, I think it was in like Chicago Rock, and I was like stood there just, I was kind of pissed, but I weren't. It was like, I felt sober. I was just like miserable, just like, what am I doing? What's going on? And then and it kind of went from there, and I was like, I remember being on a night out with friends, and I couldn't settle, I couldn't enjoy myself. And and I had these, anyway, I broke down, and I ended up, like, I went to the doctor, said, look, I can't sleep, something's not right. I don't feel depressed, I don't feel down, but something's not right. And he's like, look, your brain's just on overdrive. He said it was depression and stuff like that, but I don't know if it was. I think it was just I was unhappy. Well, depression. But you know what I mean? I was doing a lot of things that weren't good for me. That was the issue. I weren't doing enough things that were like good for me. So I was overdrawn massively. And I've been doing it for a long time. So I took some time off, and once again I found the gym, and I started training. And then after that, I found martial arts again. And that's it. And I am an obsessive person. I've definitely got some, traits of things. But I threw myself into it, and it was great. And I just obsessed over it. I had some good people around me, a good team around me. And I felt accepted. I felt like being part of something, And then obviously, when you're fighting all the time, all you're doing is grappling and rolling and sparring. And it just builds confidence. It builds resilience. Everything just feels better. I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, and he was talking about how, when you've got people trying to strangle you all the time, everyday life's pretty easy, after that. And it's one of the reasons I'm so glad to get back into jiu-jitsu again recently. But so I started to feel better, and then I always remember I got into that cage for the first time. I had that first fight. This is this scared kid who's been beat up his entire life. You know, he's never really had a successful confrontation. Not really. And he's never really, you know, I've always been scared. Always. Even when I acted like I wasn't, and I acted hard and I moved off, I was scared. And I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know what I was going to do in that situation. I just got in. I remember the music, and we had Queen going. And then I was just in there, and I was just trying to stay calm. I'm obsessive, so I studied lots of fighters, and I studied lots of sort of mental training, and I rehearsed it. I'd done everything. I'd exposed myself to the situation beforehand. I did everything I could to be prepared for it, but ultimately, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't. Was I going to freeze? I've seen lads do it. And then it started. I threw the first punch, and it was like, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. And it was like this thing inside of me. Just pure primal rage. Just a monster that just wanted to smash and smash and smash. My mate said it was just, he said minimal skills, ultra violence is how my friend described it, which if you know me doesn't sound like me, and it isn't, but I think we all have that in us. And that's who I am. I had this monster inside me that had been built over years. Years of being beat up, years of being put down, years of being bullied, years of being slagged off, years of being the butt of jokes, just taking those little things all the time and not calling it out. And that had built something inside me, this thing. And that's what drives me, that thing. But as I said, I came out, and that taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a hell of a lot about who I was and what was inside of me, what I was capable of. And then all of a sudden I was able to be me. I was able to start being myself more. I was able to figure out who that guy was, because I just didn't give a fuck anymore. I didn't care what people thought about me. And I'm not saying I don't. There's still times I'm mindful about what I say. Definitely. I still censor myself. I still don't take some risks when I should do. There's, you know, I think you're always fighting this thing. It's not something that just, I had that moment and that was it. It's been a constant battle, and sometimes I stumble, but I'm always getting further than I did last time. It's like that. I've said it in training before. It's like the tide kind of thing. You go so far, you come back a bit, but next time you get a bit further, and you're never starting from the same point. And that's how it is. And that's how self-development is. And then I was able, like I said, from there I was able to start taking more risks and start taking more chances. And I started again, start being just me. Like now, this is me trying to be me. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking, because I think talking through things is where you take your power back. I don't think keeping stuff bottled inside you is good. I think it sets off a whole chain of negative things. It manifests itself in illness, in anxiety, and all these other stuff. I think you need to talk about it. You need to go through it. That's why over the last 7, 8 years of BD, I've always been very open, because I think it helps people. I think it helps people relate to you. And I think it helps people to maybe open up a little bit about themselves. But it helps me. It helps me own it and take the power of, like, from those negative thoughts, those negative emotions, those negative things that were said and done to me. I take the power back. And that, like I said, empowers me, and then empowers me to be able to then to go on and do cool things. And that's what I'm continuing to do. But yeah, that's my point. Life is painfully short. You could lose the use of your body tomorrow. You could lose your life tomorrow. You could have something completely devastating that destroys you mentally and physically tomorrow. That's how it is. And life's too fucking short to be trapped in a life that could essentially be viewed as a prison. You know, it's, yeah, shiny things are alright, big houses are alright, big cars are alright, and there's stuff I would like. There's definitely more things I would like from a family. I definitely want to elevate our level of life, definitely. And I want to set a legacy up for the family going forward. I have goals, I have missions like related to that. But first and foremost, you've got to be happy in yourself. You've got to be genuine to yourself. Are you being who you were meant to be? Are you being who you were put on this earth to be? Are you being that person, that little kid who had all these dreams and all these desires and all this wonder and amazement about the world and curiosity and ambition? Or has it all been smashed out of you? Think about you. Think about that little you. Like, little Nick, you won't be a paleontologist. I've literally been looking at, like, working on the fossils. Because what I've realised as well is that path that's laid out for us, you know, that you have to do this, you have to do that to get to be something. You don't. You do what the fuck you want. The world's great. Got this phone, got the internet, got YouTube. You can educate yourself on loads of things. You want to be an archaeologist? Just fucking go and be one. Fucking educate yourself. You don't need to go and do all the formal shit. Get involved in shit. Volunteer somewhere. Fucking, I said, watch some videos, make some videos. Like, you can just, a hobby can be your entire life if you want it to be. If you work hard enough and you're willing to sacrifice. That's the way it is. And I'd argue that when you're doing things like that, it doesn't become a sacrifice. It doesn't become work. It becomes fulfillment and joy and happiness. And that transfers to everything around you. Because that's ultimately how life is and how you live the best kind of life for you, your family, and your community, and your country, and your world, right? Is you by you being who you were meant to be. That's what you should do. Who were you meant to be? Figure that shit out and do whatever you need to do to get the fuck back to it. If anyone's out there needs a bit of help or just wants to chat about it, I'm here. I mean, I'd literally do it like this. You want to have a conversation. You know, maybe you've got an idea, maybe you've got a side hustle, maybe you've got something you're starting. You know, share it with everyone. I'm here. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I've got a knee appointment. Speak to you later. Bye bye.